everyone, I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen and another installment of The Holidays Are Coming. We are at the beginning of December and I knew I absolutely had to share this one with you. What you see before you is a loaf of apple fritter bread. Yes, I said apple fritter bread. I was inspired to make this by a loaf of apple fritter bread that I actually bought at the grocery store, and I knew that I could do it better. So, let's go see how this all goes together. We're going to show you how to make a really easy but so delicious apple fritter bread. I came up with this technique a few months ago when we were having a bake sale for my church, and I wanted to see if this would work. I kind of had it in my head. If you know how apple fritters are made, then you know that they take the risen yeast dough, they chop it up with apples, and then they deep fry it, and then they glaze them. I came up with this particular way of making a loaf of apple fritter bread inspired by a loaf of apple fritter bread that I purchased at a local grocery store, and I love that bread and it's really tasty, and I'm trying to think, how can I make this myself? And this is how I make it, and it's a great way to give a holiday gift, and you're gonna love it when you find out how simple it is. We're gonna use I have a 1.5 pounds ball of my Perfect Sandwich Loaf. I have a can, whatever your favorite brand is, of apple pie filling, and I have 1/2 cup of granulated sugar blended together with a tablespoon of my homemade apple pie spice. I will leave a link down below where you can find that recipe. But when I make bread, I do a double batch of my Perfect Sandwich Loaf, and then I divide it in 3, because I do not like the size that I get when I divide it in half. It's just too large of a loaf. So when I end up with 3 loaves, I make 2 into sandwich bread for the week, and I make 1 of these into the apple fritter bread, or I'll make it into cinnamon rolls or something like that. So this is so easy. You're gonna take your portion of dough, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna kind of break up your dough. This isn't gonna make any sense until you see it. So just break it up. Okay, so if the pieces stick together, don't worry, because we're gonna be chopping this up even more. Now, take this apple pie filling. Now, you're going to use about 2/3 of the can. A whole can is just too much. You want to get in here with your bench scraper, and you just want to start chopping these things together. You see how the dough is starting to look like little dumplings? That's what you want.
It smells good.
Yes. Now when it gets to this point, right about there, what I want you to do, use your hands, take some of this cinnamon sugar, and after you get your sugar sprinkled on there, I didn't use all of it yet, you just want to mix that in as well. And you see, I'm just kind of folding and chopping at the same time. Get yourself a regular loaf pan all ready to go. I have it sprayed with cooking oil spray. And you're just going to want to get that in the pan. Just like that. Now, the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of this sugar and apple pie spice blend, and I'm going to liberally cover the top with it. And that's it. I didn't use all of that. There was a half a cup of sugar, so you can use that for something else. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this and I'm going to allow it to rise until it crests just over the rim of the pan. Then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. Our bread has been rising for about a half an hour while my other bread baked. So you can see how it's just gently crested over the top of the pan like that. I've placed my bread pan on a quarter sheet pan that I've lined with parchment paper. This may or may not boil over a little bit, but I've never had that happen before. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. This is going to go in there and bake for 45 to 50 minutes. All right, this just came out of the oven and I ran a sharp knife around the outside. You're gonna wanna let this cool in the pan for at least 10 to 15 minutes because this is a very fragile bread when it's still warm. And it'll get a little bit more structure once it cools off a bit, but you don't want to take it out of the pan right away. It does look like an apple fritter. It's going to taste like an apple fritter too. But I'll come back when it's time to take this out of the pan so you can see what it looks like. We're going to get ready to try and take this out of the pan without it breaking. So what I've done is I have another quarter sheet pan that I lined with a little parchment paper. And I'm just going to set this on top, take my pot holders. Let's get this out of the way. And then let's say a prayer. And then we're going to come back. Very nice. Yes. Then we're going to come back with this one and we're going to flip it over again. And there is your apple fritter bread that you shouldn't slice hot, but we probably will. If any of you are looking for a bread knife, this Rita bread knife is the best bread knife I have ever used in my life. That was just a little plug for Rita because you know how much I love Rita. Let's see. This is hot. You probably shouldn't slice this up hot, but we're gonna take our chances. As it cools, it will stay together.
See what she says.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Right.
It looks like an looks like an apple fritter. Absolutely gorgeous. Don't eat this right away because it's going to be too hot and you're going to burn your mouth. But my husband is going to burn his mouth after he puts this camera down. I guarantee you.
Chance it.
He'll chance it. It's that risk that you take in life. Again, up to you. You can glaze it or not. I think with the amount of cinnamon sugar I put on here, we're just going to enjoy it this way. As it cools, it's going to stay together and make nice, uniform slices, and you're going to love this. You don't want to put this in the toaster because it's going to burn, but you can warm it in the microwave if you like, or you can just, you don't need to put anything else on this bread. It's absolutely delicious. So that's how you make a really wonderful loaf of apple fritter bread, and I think this is perfect for gift giving for the holidays. I think that anybody who receives this is gonna love it. They're gonna think how unique and different it is. And here, let me just hold this up so you can see. It's full of apples and sweetness, and it's gonna be delicious. So I want to thank you for joining me today and seeing how I make apple fritter bread inspired by a loaf I bought at the store, but I think mine is like way better. The one in the store didn't taste nearly as delicious as mine, if I do say so myself. If you liked today's video, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and if you're not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. For those of you who are already subscribed and have been following me for quite some time, or even just a little bit, be sure you go down next to that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon. I understand that some people are having a problem becoming unsubscribed from channels that they may not watch all the time. Maybe you have been unsubscribed and you didn't even realize it. If you go hit that bell, you will not only remain subscribed, but you will also get an email notification every time I upload a video, so that you will never miss out on anything that I share when the holidays are coming or any other time of the year. So if you'll do that for me, I would really appreciate that. I hope you give this apple fritter bread a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, happy holidays!